You turn off the lights. The house goes quiet. Your phone is face down. And still, something won't rest. It's not desperation. You're not begging for anyone. Your life works. But the night exposes what the day distracts. The clock reads 10:47 p.m. And your chest tightens without a clear reason. You think, it's because I'm single. But deep down, you know it's not just that. You've had company before. And still felt the same emptiness. You've been married. And cried in the dark anyway. So why does it return? Why this specific heaviness? Why does the bed feel bigger after 40? And why does anxiety always choose nighttime? Maybe it's not about being alone. Maybe it's about something you never integrated. Something old. Something that started long before the divorce. What if your nighttime anxiety isn't loneliness, but a part of you knocking at the door? Are you ready to find out what she wants? You are not weak. You are not needy. You are not regressing. What you feel has roots. It has history. It has a name. And that changes everything. But listen with courage. Carl Jung said that what we do not integrate becomes shadow. And shadow doesn't disappear. It waits. It grows quietly. It shows up when the noise fades. Like at night. Like now. And that's when you realize. Maybe at 7 years old you learned something dangerous. That depending hurts. That loving exposes you. That needing someone is weakness. Maybe you promised yourself you would never cry over love again. Maybe you became strong too early. Responsible too early. Self-sufficient too early. You built an admirable life. Independence. Stability. Emotional awareness. Therapy. Boundaries. Discernment. But the shadow isn't about what you built. It's about what you hid. The rejection you rationalized. The abandonment you said you had moved on from. The humiliation you minimized. The betrayal you turned into a lesson too quickly. The pain you organized into boxes. And pushed inward. Without integrating. Integration is not reliving drama. It's admitting impact. It's recognizing that something hurt more than you allowed yourself to feel. It's accepting that your strength was partly defense. Not sin. It's human. It's understandable. It's healable. Your nighttime anxiety is not about being single. It's about the part of you that still fears depending. That still associates love with loss of control. That still scans for abandonment before it happens. And when silence comes, she asks, if I lower my guard, who guarantees my safety? And that question is not small. You are not crazy. You are divided. Between the conscious woman who wants healthy love, and the little girl who swore she would never need anyone again. Until those two speak, night will keep feeling like a battlefield. But what comes next begins to free you. You say you want an emotionally available man, but you feel chemistry with the difficult ones. You say you want peace, but your body recognizes intensity as love. You say you don't accept crumbs, yet you still negotiate silence. And then you wonder why. This is where it starts to become clear. The shadow doesn't choose what's healthy. It chooses what's familiar. Familiar is not the same as good. It's simply known. And what's known feels controllable. Even if it hurts. Even if it ends the same way. Even if you swear it's the last time. You don't choose unavailable men by accident. You choose them because your system learned to love at a distance. Learned to desire what isn't fully given. Learned to prove worth by earning difficult affection. Sold. It's automatic. It's unconscious. But it's not permanent. When someone is truly present, you get uncomfortable. Suspicious. You think it's too fast. Too calm. Too easy. And something in you whispers, be careful. But careful of what? Careful of opening up. Careful of needing. Careful of trusting. Because trusting has been expensive before. And your mind tries to prevent repetition. It thinks it's protecting you. But sometimes, it's trapping you. So you oscillate. Between wanting love. And keeping emotional distance. Between surrender. And keeping an exit plan. Between craving companionship. And guarding your autonomy fiercely. That tension is exhausting. And nighttime exposes the split. The body relaxes. But the mind scans. What if I choose wrong again? What if I lose myself? What if I depend? Anxiety isn't speaking about loneliness. It's speaking about fear of repetition. Here you see something crucial. This didn't start at 40. It didn't start with the divorce. It didn't start with the last breakup. It started when love and insecurity mixed for the first time. confuse tension with connection, absence with challenge, instability with passion. But before we move forward, if you're recognizing yourself in these lines, don't ignore it. This channel is a space for lucid women who no longer want to repeat patterns in silence. Here you won't get empty promises, you'll get clarity. Click the button right now and subscribe. This may be the first time someone is explaining exactly what you feel. You became too functional, too strong, too rational, and without noticing, self-abandonment started looking like maturity. Silence became strategy. Indifference became protection. But the price was not small. You adapt. You understand. You give space. You don't push. You don't demand. You respect his timing. Slowly, you disappear. The exhaustion doesn't come from work. It comes from constant vigilance, from emotional calculation, from reading signals, from anticipating rejection, from fearing you'll be too much, from trying to be chosen without asking. That drains the soul. And when it doesn't work, you don't blame. You analyze. You try to learn. You improve. You evolve. But rarely ask, why did I accept so little again? This is where it hurts, but becomes clear. Because loneliness starts turning into identity. I'm independent. I don't need anyone. Relationships are complicated. Strong statements, but sometimes defensive, sometimes sad, sometimes resigned. And then comes the false solution. You think, maybe I should love more, be lighter, more patient, more flexible, or maybe shut down completely, feel nothing. But loving more doesn't fix it. Pleasing more doesn't fix it. Closing off doesn't fix it. Because the problem was never intensity. It was integration. Never surrender. It was hidden fear. And until that is seen, night will keep exposing it. But there is a different path. And it begins small, almost invisible, yet powerful. Healing doesn't begin when love arrives. It begins when you change how you position yourself. It's not about finding someone. It's about stopping self-abandonment, even when no one is watching, especially at night, especially there. It's simple, but not easy. First action, stop negotiating clear signals. Don't explain absence. Don't translate silence. Don't justify inconsistency. Your nervous system needs predictability, coherence, presence. Peace is not born from emotional effort. When something creates constant anxiety, it's not chemistry. It's alarm. The body knows before the mind. If you sleep worse after talking to someone, if your chest tightens waiting for a reply, if you feel smaller, this is not love forming. It's the pattern asking to continue. Second action, build internal emotional safety. Before seeking connection, build foundation. A predictable nighttime routine. Silence without screens. Conscious breathing. Being in your body. Not as technique, as care. Night anxiety eases when the body understands. I am safe now. Not because someone promised to stay, but because you stayed. With yourself. Without distraction. Without self-abandonment. Without escape. You don't need to fix your whole life. You just need to interrupt the cycle. One night at a time. One choice at a time. Less intensity. More consistency. Less expectation. More truth. And when this begins, something shifts. You don't become cold. You become clear. You don't harden. You organize yourself inside. And that changes who comes close. But now pay attention. You've spent years trying to understand yourself. Analyzing patterns. Going to therapy. Reading books. Learning about attachment. About boundaries. About self-worth. Yet still, the night kept speaking. Maybe because the answer was never only psychological. Maybe what was missing was presence. Not a man's, but God's. Not as a magical explanation, but as silent security. As invisible ground. As foundation. You wanted someone to guarantee permanence. But God never promised permanent people. He promised presence. And that shifts everything. Because your anxiety isn't asking for romance. It's asking for safety. For rest. For home. And look at what is written. In peace I will lie down and sleep. For you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 4 verse 8. It doesn't say, when I get married. It doesn't say, when someone stays. It says, you alone make me dwell in safety. Do you see? Safety is not the absence of loneliness. It is the presence of foundation. It is knowing you are not abandoned in silence, that your story is not loose, that your life is not delayed, that your 40s are not a mistake. They are alignment. God didn't take something from you. He took you from something. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. It wasn't abandonment. It was invisible protection. It wasn't delay. It was maturation. Maybe the night is teaching you to lie down in peace before loving again, to trust before surrendering, to integrate before choosing, because healthy love is not born from lack. It is born from security, and security begins here. No. And when that settles in, anxiety loses strength. It doesn't disappear magically, but it weakens. Because you understand, I'm not waiting for someone to save me. I am learning to dwell in safety, even alone. And that changes everything. You began this journey thinking it was loneliness, thinking it was the absence of someone, thinking it was delay. But it wasn't. It was inner division. It was an unintegrated shadow. It was old fear still active. And now you see, the little girl who promised never to depend doesn't need to be silenced. She needs to be held. The mature woman who wants love doesn't need to harden. She needs alignment. When those two meet, anxiety loses territory. You won't wake up tomorrow feeling nothing, but you will feel differently, more aware, less automatic, less hostage to the pattern, more owner of your choices, more whole, more at peace. The bed won't get smaller. The room won't get louder. But silence will stop feeling like a threat. It will become space. Space to rest. Space for presence. Space for faith. Space for reunion. You didn't lose love. You gained awareness. You didn't lose time. You gained discernment. You didn't lose opportunities. You gained emotional maturity. And that sustains real love. Not urgency. Maybe love will come. Maybe it will take time. Maybe it will surprise you. But now it won't be escape. It won't be anesthesia. It won't be repetition. It will be choice. And conscious choice changes destiny. Loneliness doesn't disappear. Transforms. Into solitude. Into rest. Into alignment. Into preparation. Into quiet strength. Into inner home. And when you lie down tonight, and silence arrives, you won't ask, why am I alone? You will say, I am safe. And maybe for the first time, your body will believe it. I can change my destiny. If this message resonated with you, subscribe right now to our channel. Here you won't receive promises of fast romance. You'll receive clarity, awareness, and peace. This is a space for women who want emotional maturity and love without self-betrayal. Y'all, subscribe and walk with us on this journey of faith and lucidity. You don't have to navigate your nights alone. And for you who stayed until the end of this video, write in the comments, I choose to dwell in safety. Every time you declare this, your mind and your faith begin to align. I pray that real peace visits your night starting today. May God strengthen your heart and organize your choices. And may you deeply feel that you are not abandoned.